won't do it. So again, I'll give you another minute or two. Anybody who has a question, please ask it. If you don't, so I will wait. If you have a question, put it in the question box with the GoToWebinar control panel, and that will give you an opportunity to get any questions you have answered. I've got people coming into Vegas next week paying me a lot of money to ask me questions, so you're getting it here for free. Now would be a good time to ask them. Any questions? Okay, 10, 9, 8. Oh, Tom might have a question. He just came in here. Tom usually does. So let's see if I can get Tom to ask a question. Hold on, he's not able to hear me yet. Okay, Tom, well, you're the latest attendee to the webinar, and I've been asking people, since I don't have anything formal and none of my JV partners are here, I've been asking people if they have any questions. So I'm going to make this strictly a Q&A kind of event. So Tom, if you have any questions, all the other people who are on the webinar have not yet responded. I've given people about a minute. So unless I get a question from you or from any of the other people on the webinar, we don't really have a whole lot to discuss today. So if you have something, ask me anything related to info marketing. This would be a good time. So go ahead and shoot. I will give people another minute to ask a question. If not, we will button up, because Avish and Bill DeWeese is swamped with work given his schedule, and a couple of the other people are one of them's out of town, and somebody's doing something. So any questions from you guys? If not, we will wait till next week, same time, same channel. Going once, going twice. No questions from the audience. Okay, folks, that's it. We'll see you next week, because I'm not getting anything. Wait. Hold on, Tom. Wait. Oh, here we go. Blogging results. Yeah, you may not have been on recently, Tom, where I talked about the fact that I spent a lot of money and basically I saw no improvement. And what's interesting is I saw no improvement from the blogging, but I did all of a sudden see a spike in traffic over the last 10 to 14 days. And because of Google Analytics has now got it set up so you really need to do the paid version to get any real data. But all of a sudden, I got this doubling of traffic. I went from about 100 visitors a day to 200 visitors a day. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And then I had Stanley, my webmaster, investigate a little bit further, and he found out that it was probably, and again, emphasis on the word probably, coming from some individual who'd made mention to me, and evidently a bunch of people had gone, but we still can't figure it out. So net result of that is always, always work with a program that will give you hardcore data on who's coming to your site and how they're getting there. So Google Analytics no longer does that. It used to be free, and now pretty much you're screwed. You got to pay for it. Posting. I guess that was before you asked that question. With that experience, what are your current thoughts on the posting schedule? You know what? I got to tell you, I have no idea, Tom. I wish that I could tell you. Let me just see what else you said here. You said about. Also, did you decide to stop ever emailing about new posts to an email list? Good point. You know what? I haven't done it that much, and I guess it's a good idea. I haven't done it, to be honest. So, Tom, your question is, should I be emailing my list that there's a new post available? And the answer is probably so. I've been spending so much of my time working with the JV partners that, the bulk of my income now is coming in from a couple of different sources. So if we wanted to talk about income sources, income sources, my major income sources are Web Marketing Magic, which if you're not an affiliate, you should do it right away. This provides me with a lot of monthly income. Ultra Cheap Domains provides me with some, and then I've got Amazon. I have, digital product orders. I have JV partners, obviously. And then I have people who come for the Fred Personal Bootcamp.com. I'm going to start to do the main boot camps again. So this is where all my, and this, if I were to put in terms of amounts of money here, that would be a one exclamation point. That'd be one exclamation point. This would now be two exclamation points bordering on three. This would be two exclamation points in terms of the amount coming in from each of these sources. Those are the main ones. Okay, so now let's see here. Bailey says, it took me a while to figure out if I could send you a message. Here's a question. How do you decide what's the best product to promote, what programs to buy, if any, or do you just don't figure it on an experiment? Oh, Maggie, okay. So, Maggie, this is, one of the reasons why Bob Bly and sometime, I think next week, we're launching a sale. If you go to Fred, and this is not yet up yet. Well, it's up, but it's the wrong stuff. FredandBobLicenses.com. Best product to promote are those things that have had experience about yourself, know a little bit about, et cetera, et cetera. So this is where we're doing, Bob Bly and I are doing our licensing a number of our newly recorded audio programs. And so if you're not sure about promoting something, you want to get started, probably the best thing to do is to take an existing product that has some history of success and start to promote those. So for those of you who just came on also, I see some new people. This is strictly a Q&A webinar because none of the JV partners are available, so I'm talking to you guys, answering any questions I had. So first thing I did is I talked about some of my current income sources. And again, all of you, for ultra cheap domains, go to selldomainsforprofit.com and set yourself up as an affiliate. Go to webmarketingmagic.com, set yourself up as an affiliate, and get involved. Those are some of the bigger income sources for me, and suggest you do that. So, in answer to your question, then, that would be it, Maggie. Maggie in Alaska. So in Alaska, what time is it there? It must be 10 o'clock, huh? Thereabouts? Nah, maybe a little bit later. But anyway, so Maggie, I would just say that you should be dealing with and promoting products that you know something about and that have worked for you, that you have had some experience with. So these I would recommend that you get involved with. And then, of course, doing your own. Go through all the stuff on my main site, fredgleeck.com, that shows you how to get started and do all that stuff. So additional questions. It's noon, okay. Gotcha, you're only 1 hour behind Pacific then. Cool. So any other questions? Anybody else? Because I'm going to just do strictly Q&A today, so anybody who wants to ask a question, please do. And there are less than the normal amount of people on here, so feel free to jump in because you will get your specific questions answered. And now is a perfect time. We've had Tom ask a question and Maggie ask a question. I know there's some other people who are on the webinar who haven't asked questions. If you want to, this is a good time to do it. I have a lady coming in all the way from Germany, meeting me in Las Vegas next week, paying me good money to ask me the same kinds of questions you could ask right here. So let's get some questions from you as a group. If not, I'm going to end early, like I said I would. So let me know if you have any other questions. Where are you with blogging? I think I've answered all those. Okay, so I'm going to do it again here. A couple quick questions that you had, but this is all about you and your questions. So if you don't have any questions, I can button it up right now. I'll do the going once, going twice. Tom sneaks in there with another. Could you make a quick high-level overview of steps for getting a report or show how to book on Amazon be offered for sale? Most intended lead generation. Okay. So high-level overview of steps for getting a report or short how-to book onto Amazon. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. So let me use a current example. So Tom, here's what I'm doing. Let's take the current example of poker for me, because I've been playing a lot of poker, and I've been putting together, whenever I do something and I start to know a little bit about how to do it, I start sort of codifying how I'm doing what I'm doing. So as it relates to poker, I've been outlining a poker book. Okay, well, before that, if you're starting with the whole Amazon thing, I assume, Tom, I may be wrong, kdp.amazon.com is where you go to set up a new account to sell your digital book / report on Amazon. Now, if you have a physical book, you would go to createspace.com and create that as well. So there's what you do first. So you first set up the account. Then what you do is you take a topic, in my case poker here, you outline the poker book, and by outlining, I just sort of brainstorm. I brainstorm all the main ideas about the topic, and I get a list of, say, 20 quote unquote main ideas. Then what I do is I go through each of these 20 main ideas and I create bulleted lists under each one. So then let's just assume that it works out, really spiffy, and I have exactly 5 bullet points under each main topic. So now I've got a total of 100 units of information that I'm teaching people. So now the question is, your topic, Tom, may not have this much information, in which case the designation of whether or not it's going to be a report or a book is all based on how long it comes out to be. Some people will call them books or ebooks when they're really short, and I sort of object to that. To me, a book is a minimum of, gosh, I guess you could go 10,000 words, but that's really like a long report. Really, I'd say 20,000. Probably better, 25,000 words is the minimum for me to call it a book. If it's less than that, I'll just call it a report. So if you go here to, let me just give you so if we go to Amazon, actually let's add a tab here, Amazon.com, put in my name, and Fred Gleeck in the Kindle store. So notice it's one of 34 results. So we've got the main book, Sell Your Brain Power, How to Write a Book in 30 Days or Less. Now, in all of these, Tom, this is a book, right? So when you click on it, it'll say that it's a book. And it'll give you, the other thing is, it gives you the length of it here as well. So length here, print length, 152 pages. So that's how you know it's a book. If you go back here and go to the other one that's on the top, How to Write a Book in 30 Days or Less, this one is clearly, this article, notice how I put this article. Please note this article is about, watch where I put this, always put this kind of verbiage. This article, it's about 3,000 words in length, but don't be fooled, it's packed with immediately usable information. So I always tell people exactly what they're getting, which makes it so that nobody gets disappointed. So I would do that. But if you see this, I have a combination of books and reports that are mixed in here. The only book that I'm selling for $4.99 is my main one here, this one, which is now a 1.5 years old. Man, time goes fast. So if you look here, it'll show you that it's not doing that well anymore, but it was selling really well. 73,000 in the paid Kindle store. So, and there are 9 reviews. So there you have it. Now, Tom, I don't know if does that answer the question? I do not have another question. Let's see here. Good for it. You think this is gonna, Okay, so he's asking a question about Facebook. Um, Facebook is doing some funky things, and sometimes they don't let you know what's going on. So my question then, so if we're going back here and let's talk about Facebook a little bit. Facebook for me is I use it um, primarily to stay in touch with friends, not as a business tool. I just haven't found it all that useful because I don't think that people go to Facebook sort of with a business purpose in mind, unless they're going to a fan page, in which case I think I've got my fan page set up as well. So if you go to Facebook and you go to my Facebook thing here, I think that it'll log me in automatically. Yes, it does. And that's where I post things like about the webinar. And this is my high school stuff, Bill DeWeese voiceover. And then I have my Fred Gleeck page. And this is a page, this is about, okay, so 67 people like this, X number of people are talking about it. There you have it. So I'm really not at all a Facebook expert. I don't claim to be. I don't know that much about it. I just use it primarily as a tool to keep in touch with personal friends, mainly high school buddies and a few people that I know since then. And that's how I use it. I don't use it for something other than that. So, God, I wish I could be more helpful, because I'm really not. That was Maggie's question. So, Tom, yeah, business owners, 10 to 15 pages, you say, my topic is about buying or selling a business. I help Main Street business owners or buyers to help sell private businesses. What I would do is if you're doing some general topic on business, I would have your reports be specific. So let's just say that, your topic was, how to buy/sell a business. That is way, 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 way too general to sell. Especially, you could do it as a book, but it's still a little general. I'd rather see you sell these as individual articles, like how to buy or sell a carpet cleaning business. How to buy or sell your carpet cleaning business. And then I would create a series of different articles that have basically similar content, but who cares? Because the guy that wants to sell his carpet cleaning business is different from the person who wants to sell his dry cleaning business. Chances are you're not going to be reading that. So I would create a series of 10 to 15 page articles with the niched versions of what you have that you do. Okay, so that is my basic idea on that. Then Maggie's asking, is there any way to tell how many copies a book sold in Amazon instead of just the current ranking? You know what? If you have your own data. So if you are selling it through Amazon, Amazon gives you the results. So if you're on kdp.amazon.com, for example, if we go to kdp.amazon.com, I will get a report, as you will as well. Sign in, and it'll show me reports, month-to-date unit sales, so the month is half over, and it'll show me the number of books or articles that I have sold of each of these. So the answer is yes, you will get, a list of how many you sold. Now that's within the Kindleized or the digital version of things. So you'll get. So the topic is tracking sales. So you'd have two areas. Number one is digital items, and I just showed you that. Yes, it's very exhaustive. Physical items. If you sell through Create Space, it will also give you a listing, and I'll show you that. So what will happen, I haven't checked this in a long time too, probably about a year, so let's see if I can still remember how to do it. So I'm logging in, and so here are my different books that I sell. let's go to selling information, which is my most recent and the best seller. No, that's not it. It's Sell Your Brain Power is the most recent one. Here it is. So Sell Your Brain Power. Now, what I want is I want the report on how much I'm selling here. Sales information. I think that's it. No, that's what I'm. Let me just see here. Hold on a second. I know I'll remember how to get to this. I think. Member dashboard. Okay, let's try that. Member dashboard, right where we were. Oh, here it is. View reports. Okay, so here it is. I've sold 11 units so far this month, and it gives me royalty by chapter, all these different royalty ways of getting it. So I can't look to see if a specific book, so now Maggie's asking, is doing well, so I can't tell if they're selling me as all hype, but, you know, so, yeah, I mean, you can. So your question is, so if somebody's telling you that a given book is selling really well, no, you're not, unless you're the owner of the book, you can't really tell. But I remember hearing before that if something is in like the top 100 in Amazon, that it's selling a minimum of 200 to 300 copies a month. But again, don't hold me to that. That could be complete nonsense at this point. So I'm not really sure. Okay, let's see here. Tom says, going through one of your, no, let's see here. Also just finished going through one of your selling audio products on the internet program. Are we able to sell audio files on Amazon in these same interfaces in a similar fashion as to what you're teaching about with a digital product? Good question. You know what? I think that you can as an audio book. So I think that if you go through, where would you do it? ACX. Let me see, acx.com. This is where you turn your book into an audiobook. And now Amazon has bought Audible, so these are all. So you know, I already have an audio. Here we go. So already have an audio. Already have an audio. Go through here. So it's acx.com, and they will tell you, Tom, how to do that. Now that's where Bill DeWeese does a lot of his voiceover work for recording audiobooks. But ACX, excuse me, will also be a place where you could get your audio books up. And by audiobook, they don't really mean an audiobook. They just mean any audio program for the most part, I think. Check out their site and find out. I think that's right. So that's the place where, so if Kindle, so Amazon, remember Amazon does physical delivery through CreateSpace. They do digital delivery through kdp.amazon, kdp.amazon.com, and they do audio, quote-unquote, books through acx.com. So that way you should, you can go browse around over there and figure that out, if that makes sense. Okay, good questions, by the way. I like all these questions, very good. So anybody have any others? Because this is purely driven by what you have to ask me, and I will answer anything that you have. I hope those are helpful so far, but all good questions, by the way, very good. So don't feel, don't feel like, oh, I've asked too many questions. You can ask another question, whoever you are. Tom, Maggie, anybody wants to ask a question, you're welcome to do so. Don't feel that you're monopolizing, because whoever asks the question gets it answered. Let's see. No, you're welcome, Maggie, for taking the time to answer the questions. That's what these are for. Usually what I do is I get on here and I counsel my JV partners, but when they're not on board, I just give people a chance to ask me any questions they have. So let's take some more if you have any. So if you have any more questions, now's the time. If you don't, I'll be happy to sign off as well and see you next week. But I'll give you 543 or 10987654 Any other questions? Oh, here's Cher saying, how did you choose? How did you choose your mastermind partners? Oh, these aren't mastermind partners. Let's differentiate between a JV partner and a mastermind partner. Most people deal with mastermind partners. And a mastermind partner is, let's just say, our partners, a group of, let's call them peers, who get together and exchange ideas, concepts, and strategies via phone or in person on a regular basis to help boost income and whatever. I think that would be the definition of a mastermind partner. A JV partner, to me, is someone who has come to me to get help in their info marketing business. We have agreed to work together in a contractual relationship where I get 50% of the net income from the venture we do together. So I'm not really involved in any mastermind groups. What I have is JV partners who I get together with on these webinars, and that's usually what I do is I let you listen in on the people that I'm coaching to do this. Yeah, you're asking me about a couple places here. In terms of PLR, private label rights, good luck with that. It's usually it's a bad deal usually for anybody except the person who's selling the rights. So Maggie's asking about private PLR, private label rights. Label rights. In general, I have not found anybody that's been really happy with results. Bob Lai and I, like I said, are doing this thing where we're offering licenses, and that's because we have proven products. Private label rights, generally, I just haven't heard very many good things about. I think years ago I did something once. And then the issue of Udemy and getting something on there. Again, I haven't even taken the time to put anything up because the first thing that I noticed on Udemy was if you look at their, and you know what, maybe I can bring this up because if so, it'll be pretty interesting for you. Alexa.com. Okay, it is UDEM, udemy.com. I think that's it. Okay, get details. Let's take a look at some of this data. When I looked at it at first, most of the visitors were coming from Nigeria, so it made me a little bit suspicious there. They might have been paying people to show up. They're still, it's only 1.3% now, but this gives you some examples of where now it looks a little bit more evenly distributed in terms of. But check this out. I mean, Udemy. The majority of the people have no college education. So that's kind of, depending on what you're selling, that could be a problem. Time on the site, 6-7 minutes, not bad. Page views for visitors, per visitor, 5.75. Bounce rate, 42%. That's not bad either. I have just found very, very few. If you look at this data, it'll probably help you depending on your topic. But it's a kind of Let's see. Where do Udemy visitors go to next? Let's see what. Yeah, you have to have an account. What sites link to Udemy? YouTube, Yahoo, blah blah blah. All these others. Okay. Sites with similar names. Where do visitors go on? Yeah, but take a look through this. I have found it. They hounded me from the very beginning to do some stuff, and I just didn't think it seemed worthwhile. You know. Let's see. What are the most important contractual clauses you find? What if they break the relationship by not paying? I have a standard contract that I use, and it's a one-page agreement, and basically just says that I get paid 50%, and if they don't pay me, then I'm not really. They collect the money, they send me a check. If they're not paying me, then I haven't properly done my screening with people, so I haven't had any problems with that, to be honest. If I had good luck with my chosen JV partners, yeah, because I'm really careful when I choose them, because I usually choose them. Here's my formula, which is, all my JV partners have at minimum come to a Fred personal bootcamp.com. So that means they've given me at least probably $3,000, and so and then I have a chance to really check out who they are. Let's see here. Just want to take a minute and say thanks for making these webinars. Okay, you're welcome, Tom says. Thanks for making the webinars available. They've been invaluable to me, along with okay, re-education. That's all the questions for me. Okay, Tom, thanks. You can stay here, though. So Tom says he's done, and that's it. So then on the Maggie side here, so maybe I'd be better off selling my writing stuff directly. Yeah, I mean, but your question. So let me just quote you, Maggie. So maybe I'd be better off selling my writing stuff directly. Yes, I would agree. You would be. Also, I think I'll keep with the private label rights I'm working on, as it's mostly for practice. Well, I assume that statement means, Maggie, that you have spent money and you feel obligated to continue with them. That's usually what a statement like that means. So, you know what? It may or may not be worth your time to use that as a practice session. My question to you, Maggie, would be, how many of those have you sold? And if you're not, then you're in trouble. So that would be my question. If you're not, and if you don't mind sharing with us, what you've sold in terms of those private label rights, I would certainly be interested in hearing it. So if you could give me one thing, my question would be, how much did you pay for the PLR stuff you have? And next is, how many dollars have you made? And don't be embarrassed if the answer is lots and zero, because that frequently happens with people. You didn't buy it. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, you haven't sold any. You're still at the beginning of the stage. Let me tell you, there are people who are at the intermediate and advanced stage who haven't sold any either. That's why, and again, I would have you guys look at Fred and Bob. And by the way, this is not the right information up yet. It's sort of placeholder stuff here. So don't just ignore everything that's on the site because it's not accurate. But the top part is sort of good here. Looking to create info products but having a tough time, in less than 10 minutes, you could be selling a great info product and keeping every penny of that sale. This is what we're going to be doing. No product, no problem. Now you can have great tested info products to sell. Now this is not yet where it should be, because this is placeholder copy. Bob Bly, the great copywriter, and our products are going to be put up on that site to sell. So I would recommend that you look at, how and what we're doing here before doing any of your own stuff. Hey, a lot of good questions, and I think that's a good place to end.